I never imagined my heart could go from pounding with love to pounding with rage in the same night. It started as a surprise. I had just landed early from my business trip, 2 days earlier than planned. I wanted to sweep Claire off her feet, take her out to her favorite bar, the Ember Lounge, where we had our first date, and remind her why I asked her to marry me in the first place. The engagement ring on her finger wasn't just a band of gold. It was my promise, my future. But that night, as I pushed open the heavy oak door of the lounge, I realized promises mean nothing if they're only worn for decoration. The place was dimly lit, amber lights reflecting off rows of polished bottles. Music throbbed faintly beneath the low hum of conversations. I spotted her immediately, Claire. Claire. Except, she wasn't alone. A man sat beside her, close, too close. His hand rested on the back of her chair, their heads nearly touching as they laughed over a pair of cocktails. She was twirling her hair, her smile the same one she used to give me when we were still in that dizzy, electric stage of falling in love. I froze, half hidden behind a pillar, my breath caught somewhere between my lungs and my throat. Well, I must be mistaken. Maybe he's just a friend. Maybe. Then she leaned in, brushed his hand with hers, and whispered something that made him grin like a wolf. That was it. The cocktail of betrayal and humiliation hit me hard, burning, sour, unforgettable. I walked over, my steps slow, deliberate, as if my legs belonged to someone else. Claire, I said evenly, my voice steadier than I felt. Her eyes widened, a flash of panic, then she plastered on that fake surprise. James, you're home early. The man turned lazily to face me, assessing me like I was a minor inconvenience. Who's this? He asked, as if I were the stranger intruding. This, I said, holding up my left hand where my ring should have been, is her fiancé. The color drained from her face. James, it's not what it looks like. I gave a hollow laugh, one that didn't sound like me at all. It never is it? The man shifted uncomfortably. Look, I didn't know she was. Don't, I cut him off, my eyes never leaving hers. This isn't about you. I slipped my hand into my pocket and felt the cool metal of the ring I had once slid onto her finger with trembling hands and teary eyes. I took it out, held it up so it caught the dim light of the bar, then placed it gently on the table between them. You can give that back to whoever you really love, I said quietly. And then I turned and walked out. The night air outside was cold, biting against my skin, but it felt cleaner than the air I had been breathing inside. My phone buzzed over and over. Claire calling, texting, begging. James, wait. Please let me explain. It's not what you think. Come home. Please. But I didn't go home. Not that night. I drove aimlessly until I found myself parked near the old pier, staring at the black water lapping against the wooden posts. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles ached. Memories flooded in, our first date, her laugh echoing in that same bar, the night we planned our future under a sky full of stars, how she whispered, "I can't wait to spend my life with you," when I proposed. Had all of it been a lie? Or had I just not been enough? The next day I went home. She was waiting on the couch, hair a mess, eyes red from crying. "James," she said, rushing toward me. "I made a mistake. It wasn't serious, it just happened. We were drinking, he's a coworker." I held up a hand. "Stop." Tears welled in her eyes. "Please just hear me out." "Meant nothing. You've been so busy, so distant lately. I wanted to feel wanted." Her words landed like a punch. So this was my fault now. "I've been working for us," I said, my voice cracking. "For our future. And you repay me by what? Practicing infidelity over cocktails." "It wasn't like that," she whispered. "It was exactly like that." Days turned into a week. She kept trying. Flowers, texts, promises of therapy, late-night confessions where she swore she loved only me. But love without respect is just a slow poison. I started digging, partly out of anger, partly out of self-preservation. And what I found gutted me more than the scene at the bar. She had been texting him for months. Inside jokes. Late-night work drinks. A hotel receipt from 2 weeks ago, when I was in Chicago. Every discovery felt like another thread snapping, unraveling the tapestry I thought was our life. The confrontation that followed wasn't loud. It was cold. "Claire," I said one evening, standing in the kitchen where we once planned our wedding menu. "I know everything now. Not just the bar." Her face crumpled. "James, please. No, don't please me. You had a choice. Not once, not twice, many times. And every time you chose him, or at least not me." She broke down, sobbing into her hands. I was scared. I thought maybe we were too perfect, that I'd lose myself. I wanted to feel alive. I stared at her. "You wanted to feel alive. You just killed everything." I moved out 2 days later. The ring, now a cold, silent witness to our implosion, was already at the jeweler's for resale. Friends called me cold. Some told me to forgive her, that people make mistakes. Others said I should have exposed her, humiliated her the way she humiliated me. But I didn't want revenge. Not really. I wanted my dignity back. Weeks passed. I focused on work, on rebuilding the version of myself that didn't revolve around her approval. Nights were hardest, when the silence stretched too long, when I caught myself reaching for a phone that no longer buzzed with her goodnight messages. Then one evening I walked back into the Ember Lounge. Alone this time, but stronger. The bartender recognized me, gave a cautious nod. And there she was, Claire, sitting alone at the same bar, staring at the door as if she'd been hoping I'd come back. Her lover wasn't there. Her smile was gone. She stood when she saw me. "James, I didn't think you'd come." "I didn't come for you," I said softly. "I came to make peace with myself." Talk. Not as lovers. Not as enemies. Just as two people who had broken something fragile and couldn't fix it. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears glinting in the low light. "I thought he made me feel special, but all he did was make me lose the one person who truly loved me." I didn't answer right away. My heart still hurt, but the wound wasn't bleeding anymore. It was just a scar forming. "I loved you," I said finally. "But I can't love who you chose to be." I left the bar that night with a strange calmness. I wasn't taking her back. I wasn't planning revenge. I was moving on. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do after betrayal isn't to scream or break or beg. It's to walk away, quietly, with your self-respect intact. Months later, I heard through mutual friends that the man she'd been seeing had ghosted her. She was alone, trying to patch the holes in her life. As for me, I started traveling more, rediscovering the parts of myself I'd neglected. I met new people, laughed without guilt, learned that healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about refusing to let it poison the future. And the ring. I never bought another like it. Next time when I propose, it won't just be with gold and diamonds. It will be with eyes wide open. 'Cause love is a choice. And so is betrayal.